everyone, and welcome back to Sports Debates. I'm Ryan, as always, joined by Dwayne and Emmanuel. We had a brief hiatus, otherwise known as fall semester, final season. Gets our schedules a little busy, but we're back. We're going to talk NBA today, and we're going to start doing some NFL playoff stuff in the coming weeks as that continues on. We're talking basketball today, and we're taking a look at the league right now as it stands. We're going to look at the standings. We're going to look at the league leaders, find some surprises and disappointing teams and players, and just have an open discussion about all that. So we're about 30 or so games into the season, not quite the halfway mark, but close enough where we can get a good idea of who's good, who's not. So let's start in the Eastern Conference, right? This is the open for anyone conference, really. Not too many teams that are dominant. Pistons are the one seed right now at 25-9. You got the Knicks, Celtics, Raptors, Sixers, and Magic filling out the top six. And you got the Heat, Cavs, Bulls, and Hawks in that 7-10 play-in range. Bucks, Hornets, Nets, Wizards, and Pacers, the defending conference champions, currently sitting outside of the playoffs. So, Dwayne, any team placement that surprised you when I read through that?
Well, obviously, we got to start with the Pistons. I mean, my goodness, what a turnaround 2 years from the worst record in almost NBA history 2 years ago to a six seed last year, which we all thought was reasonable. And like, okay, that's great to now being the first seed. And I mean, I get it's a weak East, sure, but being a first seed in any conference is still a huge plus. So I mean, for me, it was the Pistons and then the Raptors. I just in the beginning of the season I said they wouldn't be anywhere. And obviously I was wrong. And man, they are doing pretty well. I didn't think they would mesh, but the fact that they're what was it, fourth, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're fourth is actually quite impressive. So props to the Raptors.
Yeah, for me, I would have to say the Cleveland Cavaliers. Um, I know they're quite injured, leaving their players unable to create a consistency when they actually do get a chance to play. But to be the number one seed in the East to now this, it's quite surprising. They also just look nothing like they did last year. That's some of their stats. Last season, they were first in points, sixth in rebound, 12th in defensive rating. This season, they are eighth in points, 15th in rebound, 16th in defensive rating. I know some of those are slight jump downwards, but this team is just not what it was last season, and that's saying something in such a especially weak Eastern Conference at the moment. Another team that surprised me was the Pacers. I know we didn't expect them to be good at all with Tyrese Halliburton being out, but we also didn't expect them to be the worst team in the NBA currently. I mean, I expected them to at least be trying to make it in for the play-in, but whew, they are wow. Another one is the Hawks. I know right now they're not too high up, but with all the trade rumors swirling around, I do expect them to drop down again, especially with Trae Young supposedly being able to hold the Atlanta Hawks hostage with his player option, because they are looking to move him. But that's that's some of the teams that surprised me the most out of there.
Yeah, the Pacers, I mean, like you said, we knew no Halliburton was going to be hard, and you know, the presence his lack of presence is felt, right? They're 29th in scoring and assists per game, right? And you're missing what 10 plus assists per game from Halliburton plus another 15 or so points a game, maybe even more. But I was like, what, they have 6 wins on the season, I think, 6-28.
Yeah,
And what's interesting is you look at all their other players, like it obviously wasn't just Halliburton, Siakam, a lot of guys that made name for themselves last year, Mather and Nemhard, Nesmith, and all these guys are scoring more than they did last year. We've got some guys that are jumping. I mean, Matherin's averaging 18 and a half. That's a huge jump. You got Nemhard at 17. I think he had like 13 or 14 points a game last year. Pascal's at 23 and a half. So guys are scoring. Guys are getting better. They have to go to more options without Halliburton. But it's just not like clicking. And I don't know. Do you guys think like there's any chance that they can get hot without Halliburton, or is it toast for them?
It's completely toast. They're at the bottom of the league for a reason. They're missing their star. They're missing a star. Not it doesn't even have to be Tyrese Halliburton, but they're missing a star. And without that, you're just have no shot to compete. Any good team or even relatively good team has a single star that they can point to for an answer, but the Pacers do not have that.
I think when we go to look at especially the Pacers, I thought the Pacers would end up like how the Celtics are now. Like they have their main guys injured, you know, and they would kind of fall off from, their normal one or two placement. I mean, last year they weren't, but I was banking on the hope that they had such a good season last year that they would, still hold up to that standard. And we're kind of realizing, like, yeah, Pascal Siakam is not Jalen Brown. Like we were like, if that makes sense. Like if anything, it shows the significance of Tyrese Halliburton. Like my God, to take the worst team in the NBA to at least a six seed, and not only that to the finals and compete there. I mean, holy cow! So I don't see it getting any better for them because Halliburton's not coming back. Well, Halliburton would be coming back in enough time for them to really get anything.
Quick question: do we know if the Pacers own their first round pick of this season? Because if
Good
not,
question. I mean, yeah,
you're
they currently have the fewest wins. Like they're if it was, obviously it's a lottery system, but they're going to have the most names in the basket if the season ends today at 6
they
and 28.
they do own it after reacquiring it from the New York Pelicans, so they do own their first round pick. Ooh,
That's an intriguing situation for sure.
especially with the
Like,
Clipper situation.
yeah. And on the flip side, you've got a team like the Celtics. They're without Tatum, and
Hmm.
yet they're sitting third in the East at 21 and 12. They've had the 11th hardest schedule in the league. Their defense is great as usual. They're knocking down threes, third most three pointers made. So there's a team that's missing their superstar, a guy who's even better than Halliburton and has won a championship with that team. And yet they're doing just fine. Now they may not compete for a finals this year. It's going to be hard to get there and beat a Western Conference team. But it's just an interesting comparison with two teams that I grouped together in my tiers as two teams like whatever happens this year doesn't matter. We're looking to next year, but interesting. I do want to zoom in on the Pistons. One seed, second most wins in the league, 10th in scoring, second in rebounds, second in defensive rating, third in steals, second in second chance points. They're up there dominating. Cade Cunningham is turning into an MVP candidate, becoming that first overall pick that he was supposed to be. However, they have had the easiest schedule by terms of strength of schedule. There's two websites I've used that both put the Pistons at the easiest schedule. They have 9 losses this year. 6 of them are against teams that are currently in the playoffs, both in the East and West. They've lost to the Cavs, I think, twice. There's a team that has been underwhelming. Lost to them. I think they've lost to the Magic, some other teams. So, considering easy schedule, I think that at the end of the season, the Pistons are still the one seed and as dominant as they have been.
Yeah, I think they will be. They're the pride of this team, the identity of this team is their defensive side of the ball. And I do not believe that that will change anytime soon throughout this entire season. Now, this also depends on if the Knicks, who are right behind them, I think by a game or two, decide to start getting really hot, or if the Cavs start to struggle. Or I mean, sorry, not the Cavs. The Pistons start to struggle a bit. But I think even if they do struggle, the Pistons may go to second place, but probably no lower than that. It's really just the Knicks and the Pistons conference. That's really all it is. Maybe the Sixers if they start getting things going, but other than that, that's it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I mean, I don't see them falling far. It's really a matter of is their offense going to be consistent against all teams. Um, they're not the worst offense. What was it, 10th offense? What is it that you said?
10th in scoring.
10th in scoring as a second defensive team. It's really
Yeah,
good. I mean, you have, it's very rare where we look at a team that defensive and have to really question like I get easy schedule. I do understand that, but it's defensive consistency is one of the hardest things in the NBA. It really is. Like to stay always vigilant on defense from the 1 to 12 is really hard to do. And for a Pistons, yet again, just to bring up their histories, from a team that had nothing, you know, and really had to grind there, I don't see them falling below two, if anything.
yeah,
So,
I just want to say one more thing about the defensive side of it. Currently in the NBA is geared towards offense right now. So having these amazing defenses is one of the most impressive things you could possibly do during this era of NBA because of how the offenses nowadays are allowed to roam free and do whatever they want. Shout out, I think it's Thinking Basketball, the YouTube channel. Shout out to him because he was really pointing this out how players can basically drop their shoulder, aim into the chest of the defender, hold people down, make these illegal screens, and it makes it almost extremely hard to play any real good defense. So when people complain about physicality of the defensive side, I really don't care anymore because of how much free roam the offense has and how little roam the defense has. So I really appreciate the defensive side of this, and I think honestly, the defense that we're seeing now might be some of the best defenses of all time because of how geared offense is nowadays.
yeah. And we see what a defense can do last year, right? I mean, best
We sure
defensive
did.
team in a long time.
We sure
I mean,
did.
so before we move over to the Western Conference, ignoring potentially who the Eastern Conference winner would play, who right now in the Eastern Conference can actually win a championship this year, ignoring their opponent? Dwayne?
me personally, either the Pistons, the Knicks, or the Sixers.
Oh,
That's
Now,
that's
now, the Sixers are a heavy maybe. It's heavily contingent on can the three of Maxi, PG, and Joel actually play and win? Because they're 0-4 right now with all playing all together. But when they've played separately each
mm-hmm.
time, they're somehow better, which doesn't make sense to me. But I'm hoping at some point it makes sense that we all are able to groove. So if they're able to groove, they can. This would be the only time they can make the finals with a dysfunctional team.
It's
This
true.
would be the
mhm.
only time. And next year, the year after, we're going to expect teams to get a lot better, especially the Pistons if they stay consistent. The Knicks have always been consistent and have always been a problem in the last 3 years. The Hawks, depending on what they do, Magic are fumbling around, so I really don't know. But all these other teams are bound to get better at some point. So, if
Mm-hmm.
anything, for the Sixers, this would be the year. And then for the other two, it's because they're already good.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, I have the exact same list there. I'm a little bit more pessimistic about the Sixers. My idea was don't let Joel Embiid play every game in the playoffs. Maybe like game one, don't start Joel Embiid. Let him play in game two because I know you don't allow him to get into a rhythm, but you also risk the chance of him getting hurt during the playoff series, which he quite often does. Like we saw 2 years ago with the Knicks series where he went down. We found out he had uh, some sort of paralysis in his face and everything else. Like, of course, you can't really help that, but like we see him almost always get hurt during the playoff series and forced to play through it. So maybe we allow him to load manage him during the playoffs. We can allow him to have a deeper run, and we have young, talented guys. Like some of the guys that the Sixers brought in, I had no expectations for whatsoever. But people like I want to say it's either Jabari Walker or Jarris Walker. One of those two plays for the Pacers, the other one plays for the Sixers.
Jabari.
Jabari Walker. He's a great rebounder. So is Barlow. BJ Edgecombe has been absolutely amazing this season. Tyrese Maxey has really taken this team onto his back. Um, Drummond, apparently the second coming of Steph Curry. All of a sudden, I don't know where came from. He's 32. I was not expecting this. Like Paul George, though he's not showing the signs of being worth that max extension, he's still showing signs of being somebody good for the Sixers and being a like a sort of like a role model for this team. Like he's bringing the leadership onto the court. And even when Joel Embiid does play, he's putting up 30 points a game. Obviously, I still don't like how he plays with the flopping and everything else, but like mostly because it's for his own health and he's a 7-footer, but he's extremely talented. Like this team is talented, but it all depends on being healthy. And I think the best way to do that is to restrict the amount of games Joel Embiid can play into the playoffs. Like if he needs to, maybe allow him to play a back to back if we're really feeling desperate.
Just one more thing that I have a concern for the Sixers as well. If you look how many minutes Maxey is playing, it is 40. He's
Yeah,
averaging 40 minutes.
yeah, it's a lot.
He is going to be tired if you keep on playing him 40 minutes. And
That's what
I like that, and that's where I agree with you in that. Like we gotta. I don't think the Sixers in total knows how to manage players correctly.
just look at Jared McCain for that example. Bro,
Jared McKinnon's had a terrible year though.
well, yeah, but he's coming back from injury. You gave him no time to
Right?
actually
No, yeah,
ramp up
yeah,
and
yeah,
get back. That's just a problem of management, of
yeah.
managing his time. Which,
Absolutely.
if you manage his time a little better, you take less time or you take more time away from Tyrese Maxey. Gives him a chance to breathe and make sure he has fresh, healthy legs from when we actually need
Mhm.
them. Also, shout out Quentin Grimes. Shout out VJ Edgecombe for that double block, by the way.
Mm. The vibes are high in Philly. Vibes are
Yeah.
high. Let's shift over to the gauntlet that is the Western Conference. It's the defending champion, Oklahoma City Thunder, at the 1 seed at 29-5. The Spurs right behind them at 24-9. You got the Nuggets, Rockets, Lakers, and Timberwolves, all with over 20 wins in the top six. Then you have the Suns, Warriors, Grizzlies, and Portland Trailblazers in the 7 to 10 play-in spots. Then the Clippers, Jazz, Mavericks, Kings, and Pelicans, all outside the playoffs. The Kings and Pelicans with only 8 wins to their name. So, Emmanuel, any surprises out of the Western Conference?
Yeah, the number one is easily the Clippers. I think almost everyone, you going off of the post we made, we have Ryan expecting them to be, I think, in the playoffs. Yes, playoff locks was the Clippers. Dwayne says potential for playoffs, and I'm the only one who had them in playing or better. So currently, none of us are right. We're all wrong. Playoff potential, they didn't have playoff potential. They're not even close. They got 8 wins. So right now they're the worst. But like I said before, I called them a retirement home, and I tend to be right in that regard. It was just unrealistic to believe this team could ever be anything more than a retirement home. It's good to have vets on your team, but it's not good to have your team be vets. It's good to have like vets on your team, but your team cannot be completely composed of veteran players. They lack the energy, and apparently after the Chris Paul situation, the ability to want to change how things are, not just the players, but the organization as a whole, which is just a complete and utter detriment to the team because you don't own your first round pick. Your players don't want to change. You've seen the lack of defensive side of ball that we've seen, the lack of hustle, the lack of just wanting. There's just an overall lack of drive, and that's why I'm so pissed about what happened with Chris Paul. Was Chris Paul the best player? No. Right, like right now, no, obviously. But like back in his prime, obviously. But right now, no. But he had the drive. He wanted to make this team better. He wanted to point out so everybody can be the best version of themselves. I don't care if he was soft or hard with it. Pause. But like, these are the things that these are the things that teams should want on the these are the type of personality traits that you should want on a team. A leader personality. Nobody on this team has that. James Harden is a great player. He's doing everything he can to stop OKC from recreating a dynasty here. James Harden, I'm willing to slide you $10 if you want to take a small vacation. Just saying. Yeah. But that's about it. That's about it for the Clippers. Dallas, I didn't really expect you to be good because I know who your starter or your star was, and I knew Kyrie was going to be out. But a lot of people had high expectations for this team. Um, this is what puts you on this list. But when this team is healthy and AD is gone, which more than likely will, with the trade rumors swirling around, they can be a good team again. They have the players to be a good team. And then my least favorite team in the world, Golden State. You guys are holding one of your teammates hostage. Hashtag free Jonathan Kuminga. Guys just show a lack of effort. Not to mention that you still lack a true center, along with the internal discourse around Draymond, who has almost single-handedly prevented y'all from continuing your dynasty, with uh, not allowing Lauri Markkanen trade, punching Jordan Poole in the face, uh, getting himself ejected because Draymond Green is a good player. I can't stand the guy. I'm a Thunder fan, so obviously. But he's a good player. He is the most impactful player on this team, second to probably Curry. Like when he is on this court, when he's on the court, he is one of the driving reasons they win the games. Because of his defensive, because of his offensive ability, because of his screens. Like he does what needs to be done. He's got to stop hurting this team with his technicals and being ejected. His attitude towards this game and towards this team has got to change. He's got to realize that he's hurting the team more than helping him. And then, last but not least, Suns. I'm sorry, I sound like Suns. I was looking for good. I was looking for great. You guys are good. I'm sorry, but no, didn't expect. This is praise for the Suns. Did not expect y'all to be where y'all are.
Mhm.
I thought we would just be watching one of the worst teams in the game. I was wrong, and I'm man enough to admit it. I would also like to admit that I did not expect Dillon Brooks to be that much of a boon to y'all offensively. I want to say he's averaging about 21 points, 21.5 points per game, 21.5 points per game, shooting 45% from the field, which is pretty nice. So yeah, I didn't expect them to be this good. I know they're not that high of a seed in the West, but they're showing flickers of something that could be there.
For sure.
For me, it's two teams in particular. And I feel very strongly about these two teams. So you're going to have to hear me out when I do this. One is the Warriors.
Okay.
Now, in my notes, I put in big bold letters overrated.
Mm.
As a Warriors fan, I'm tired of throwing three players an excuse. Three. Draymond is number one. I'm tired of throwing him the excuse. I get it. He's a great player, but he hasn't been a great player for 3 years. And I'm tired of it.
Mm.
I'm tired of, oh, he's a great. No, he was great for the dynasty when the dynasty was at its very peak. You're absolutely right. But for the last 3 years, he has not been that. And I'm tired of he's got to go. He's got to go now. Because at this point, I'm tired of him. Number two is Jonathan Kuminga. Now, it's not because Kuminga isn't playing. I mean, it's not because of Kuminga himself. It's because of Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr
Yeah.
don't know how to do lick. And I've said this plenty of times before. Steve Kerr is not a good coach. He was around Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant, and even Draymond, if you want to put that.
And I just want to throw this in there. Mind you, he is not the one who created that team. It was created by the prior coach as well.
Thank you. He has not done lick. Oh, you know what he is? He is the coattail. He is benefiting from people that have carried him all his career, his NBA career, his assistant career, and his coaching career. That's all it's been. He's not been good at any three of those. Sure, he was a great shooter. You're next to Michael Jordan. He was a great assistant coach. You have Greg Popovich. You were with the Warriors. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant. He has not proven anything in himself at all. All you have to do is tell, hey, just run screens for Steph Curry. Oh, just make sure Klay Thompson gets open. He barely needs any room, anyways. Hey, just let Kevin Durant get this ball in the ISO. That's not hard. It's simple.
I
I
think
could
I
have won
could.
a championship with that.
I could do that.
That's not hard. So it's not Kuminga, it's technically Kerr. And then Jimmy Butler. Now, don't get me wrong, his stats actually have improved from last time. He's only played 30 games. Total, he's only played 60 games with the Warriors. Last year he played 30, this year he played 30. He's improved. But if you look at his plus minus, has gotten down by at least 4. And that's huge. That means on both ends and then somewhere in the game, something is lacking.
I I want to chalk that one up to
Really?
his overall team. Is
Mm.
when you're watching some of the Warriors games, which I sometimes force myself to do because I hate that team and I only want the worst for them. But I'm watching them and I'm looking at Jimmy Butler. He's doing overall really good, but the problem is that he's often having to compensate for his teammates' inability either on defense or offensive side of the game. So that's why I would say that's where that plus minus is coming from, because he's often compensating for his defensive or for his teammates who are leaving guys open, not rotating fast enough. And the offensive side is oh my god, watching the Warriors offense makes me want to crawl up in a ball. It's so bad without Curry on there. When Jimmy Butler's just out there, it's so bad. And I'm like watching Jimmy Butler, and I'm like, please let this man go. Go to another team. Y'all are ruining him. It's so bad. It's horrendously bad. The movement is bad. There's no real shot opportunities going up. There's no real offensive penetration. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why do you think that is?
Because there's no Curry.
And guess who's leading all those? I just want to think about it here. Who is causing all those plays to happen?
Oh, Curry.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying though. It's not only just it's not Jim. I wouldn't say it's Jimmy Butler. I believe it's the coaching and the stat. Like the players. There's no.
It's also Poku.
Yes. It's almost
Poku's
like
terrible on defense.
this is almost the exact same situation as the Clippers with the players not having a drive or a want. It's like they're a mindless hive without Curry on the court. It's incredible.
I can't say no to that. Like I can't say no to that.
Like I want this team to be good because I love the rivalry. I love the potential. I love watching Curry when it's not against my team. Other than that, I love watching Curry. But like, it's so hard to watch them right now. In fact, they play the Thunder tonight. I can't
And
watch.
guess who ain't watching?
And I believe I just got the
Curry.
report saying that Curry was. I want to say Curry's out.
Yeah.
Curry and Butler.
Curry, Jimmy
Butler.
Butler, Draymond will miss tonight's game against the Thunder.
Oh my god, it's about to be a 50-point
murder.
loss. It's about to be a 50-point
I can't
loss.
wait. Especially OKC needs this too after those couple games against the Spurs, but we'll talk about them later.
In my other team, I completely, very passionate about this because I distinctly hate this team, but I have to give them props. It's the Suns. I do not like Dylan Brooks with every like I hate the same. It's not the same as Rudy Gobert because I actually hate Rudy Gobert, but Dylan Brooks is like my number two op, if that makes sense. Like I really do not like this man. But if I'm going to sit here and deny what type of season he's having, then I'm just stupid. Because it's just he's having a great season. I can't deny that, I thought this team was a lottery team. I didn't think they were going to do squat. Like I not at all. But here we are, and they are what, the seventh seed? Correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because aren't they also? Let me check right quick before I start.
I didn't think they would be.
Yeah, they're even above the Warriors, which I was not expecting them to be.
Yeah, like
I knew the Warriors were going to be a little bit dysfunctional coming into the season, but I did not expect them to be this where they are now.
Yeah,
especially with the Suns being
not at all. So it's just like, though I like Devin Booker, I just don't like how the Suns have treated Devin Booker. Like they've gotten him. I feel like there was like 2 years, maybe a year or 2 years, where they got him like Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, great stuff. Like that was great. And then the next year, it felt like they failed to keep up that same consistency. And then from that on, it's just been meh.
Yeah.
So I don't like the organization, but I got to give respect where respect is due, where they're not anywhere where I thought they should be.
I want to stick with the Suns just because a few more numbers I want to look at. 10th hardest schedule in the league. And I think that means something because you look at their wins this year. They've beat the Spurs twice. They've beat the Timberwolves twice. They've beat the Lakers 4 times. All these teams above them in the standings, and they've got 19 wins with the 10th hardest schedule in the league. And we were talking about defense earlier. First in steals. 9 of their players average over 1 steal a game. Now, granted, one of those players is Jalen Green, who's played like 2 games. So it's 8 guys that are playing every day. 10.7 steals a game for the team. 352 steals total, which is second behind the Thunder, I believe. 8th in opponent points per game. 113. So their defense is a huge reason why they're where they are, and they've won some big games against some good teams. And it's honestly it's nice to see because this franchise you were in the finals a few years back, right? You got Durant and somehow got worse. That entire core is gone. Devin Booker's still here, who I believe is by far the most underappreciated superstar in the league, and I think he has been for years.
Mm.
And now they actually look like a functional team again. Unfortunately, you're in the West where it's going to be hard, but I think they can. I mean, they've beaten good teams, so they're probably my biggest surprise team, especially for how bad they were last year.
I just want to state how unsurprising the Pelicans are for me. I know, oh,
8-27.
they're not supposed to be bad. No, I expected that. Because you know why? Their organization sucks. It's just it was too obvious. And no offense to Jordan Poole, but it's Jordan Poole. Like he's a great offensive player, sure. Congrats. But is he a consistent offensive player? No. Zion, actually, I looked up Zion's stats earlier. He's actually doing pretty good. Now he hasn't shot a three this season, and
Oh
it's
my
doing
goodness.
very good.
That's okay. I mean,
Yeah, no,
hey,
no,
if you
that's
can,
good. That's
I was
good
gonna
because
say
he's
if you
not a
can
good
score
three-point
from somewhere
shooter.
else and you don't have to rely on the three and still be
Yeah, that's
efficient, I
so
don't care.
great. But have we fixed anything? Like, let's be for real. Have we fixed anything in that organization? Nope. So, as I said, they would suck, and here we are.
Yeah, it's the same old story for them. I feel every year. I do quick. The Clippers and Kings, both underwhelming teams that have a lot of stars. Just want to point out, the Clippers have had the fifth hardest schedule, and the Kings have had the hardest schedule in the league. Again, this isn't like football where that means too much, but the Kings are sitting at 8-26, second to last in the West. Have had a harder schedule, but they also have too many good players on the team to make that excuse. Not necessarily in the prime, but Sabonis, Levine, DeRozan, blow it up. None of those guys are going to be worth as much as they were in the past, but if you trade all those guys, you can get enough
One
back.
more player. You need one more player in that name list.
Russell Westbrook, yes.
Thank you.
He's probably their best player, honestly. Hold on, I low-key forgot he's on that team. But see, there's another reason.
No, you
Okay.
good? Okay. Give yourself a sec.
Who are championship contenders? I'll go first. I'm going to say the Thunder. I'm going to say the Spurs. I'm going to say the Rockets. And I'm going to say the Nuggets if everyone is healthy. Jokic and Aaron Gordon, Christian Braun, everybody's there because they took Thunder to 7 last year. And I think they can easily get back there. Those are my teams. Dwayne, how about you?
Obviously, returning champs, Thunder. Spurs, maybe. I still have the Wolves. I think I'm not as confident as I am with the Rockets. I think the Rockets have a ginormous chance. I think this is one of their only years where they really have a chance because they're banking on an older KD. So, you know, use your time wisely. Uh, and yeah, to be honest, that's it. I don't see the Nuggets doing that, even with them all healthy, because I mean, sure, last year they weren't healthy and took Thunder to 7, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
But I don't see them matching well up against the Rockets. I don't see them matching well against the Timberwolves or the Spurs,
Really.
especially the Spurs.
I think they match up pretty darn well against Spurs.
I don't think yet again this is Jokic's defense will not be able to keep up with Wembanyama. And Wembanyama can keep up with Jokic's scoring, I believe.
Mm,
That's a very cool matchup, though. I would love to watch that.
love to. Hope Spurs eliminate. They're scared. They scare me. My three teams are simply the first three teams: Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets. I don't have the Rockets because they lack a true guard at the moment, and that's been really detrimental to them as of the season. Now, I want to say something about the Spurs, and I want to. The Spurs are an extremely good team. here. This you can't deny that they're the second standing in the West, the hardest conference, easy by far. However, people going off of what they did to OKC, and they did beat them 3 times pretty badly, almost every single time, and we still have to play them 2 more times. People are overestimating the Spurs by a good bit. They're extremely talented. However, there are teams that are just, for example, I think the Spurs beat the Thunder, then lost to Charlotte Jazz. It might have been the Jazz. After this, it's just because I don't. They're true contenders, but I just want to say this about the Spurs. The Spurs, extremely talented, huge guards that can play defense. Victor Wembanyama can control the paint by himself. There's not a player in the NBA anything like him. There's not a player. After watching what he can do. But I just want to say this: that the Spurs are the kryptonite for the Thunder, but I do not think that the Spurs are the kryptonite for almost every other team. They're extremely good, but I still think they're extremely still beatable by other teams. And I think if the Nuggets and the Spurs had to play each other in the playoffs, I would take the Nuggets. Now, Victor Wembanyama is going to do his thing regardless. However, I'm not so sure about the Spurs supporting cast into the playoffs. They're still extremely young, and I'm not sure if they had experience. Go ahead.
Good point. Because that actually made me think a little bit. When it comes to the Spurs guard play, they lack defense.
No, no,
Steph,
no, 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 no. They're
no, no,
extremely
no, no, no.
Stephon
Aaron
Castle.
Fox. No, I know. I'm talking about particularly the
Oh, just
starting point guard
okay.
and then the bench.
Okay. Well, they have Dylan Harper who came in. Like,
It's not enough though. You know what I'm
bro.
saying? For a championship level team. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, day in and day out, I don't think it's going to be enough. But the problem is, do they have to be? With
No.
what Victor can do, he controls the entire paint. I don't think there's ever been an NBA player that I personally watch that has a domain in the paint. He owns that. There is
Giannis?
not even, no, defensively, no, there's not, no. Defensively,
Giannis?
no, bro. People are willing to go up against Giannis. But when you watch what Victor does to that paint, people will run in and run out as fast as possible. He owns that paint. Giannis is a defensive beast. Don't get me wrong. He's an elite defender. But I don't think there's anybody that specifically owns the paint. Like the presence that Victor Wembanyama carries on the paint is so incredible that he scares everybody out.
Giannis?
Okay.
Shaq? David Robinson.
I never got to watch. I said the people that I watched, like I got to
Okay.
experience in my
Okay. I
lifetime.
got you then, right? Giannis? That's it. That's all you need.
I I don't know, bro. He's a defensive beast, but I've never seen players intention like. Well, I've seen players do that, but
I was gonna say.
the sheer and utter fear he strikes in people going into the paint, they don't even want to try it. At least with Giannis, they're willing to go up and go up against a contested shot, but they don't even try it with Victor. Like he doesn't even have to be in the paint. If he's even remotely close, he shuts it down. That's what they beat against OKC. He literally nobody else stopped it. It was just him near the paint, and that was it. We couldn't score in the paint. We're not a good 3-point shooting team, unfortunately. We couldn't get to the mid range because their guards are almost all 6'6" and extremely defensive talented. But that's it.
What about Chet?
Chet Holmgren can't do jack against Victor. I don't know why. I don't know why Victor hates him so much, but hey, it's okay. We'll enjoy our little championship ring. It's okay. They can go over there and have their little regular season wins. It won't matter when we're back-to-back champions.
All right,
Also,
let's look at
I just want to say
sorry.
it's also their third season, so they still got time to grow.
All right, let's look at some of the league leaders player wise.
Mm.
It's a time to be a scorer. There's 34 players that are averaging over 20 points a game. A lot of random names scattered about there. The top of the leaderboard, it's Luka Doncic, 33.5, SGA 32.1, Tyrese Maxey at 30.9. So you got 3 players averaging 30 points a game. Then you've got another 5 players averaging 29. Donovan Mitchell's at 29.7. He was at 30 like 2 days ago. Jokic at 29.6, Jaylen Brown at 29.5, Jalen Brunson at 29.4, and Anthony Edwards at 29.1. So you have the potential of like 8 players averaging 30 points a game. So my first question is, Emmanuel, at the end of the season, how many players are averaging 30 a game?
Oh, averaging 30 a game. Thing is, I'm not okay. I'm not going to take injuries into account. I'm gonna just say if they're staying healthy, you know, I'm gonna say 8 players are gonna be averaging 30 points per game. That's a lot, I know, but like I said, this era of NBA is so geared towards offense that it's incredible how restricted the defense is. So I think it's very well possible, and I think there's plenty of talented teams or talented players that could average darn near 30 points per game. Shoot, we have Denny Avdia. Sorry, my bad. There's no disrespect to him. We have Denny Avdia, which isn't a household name. He's averaging, I think, 25.5 points per game on the Trailblazers. I mean, there's plenty of scoring
You
talent.
said 30, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would pin it at maybe 5, maybe 4. My
Yeah, maybe,
highest thing is 3 because
maybe,
it's
maybe.
30.
Yeah, maybe. Well, we already saw that we have people that are at 29, so they just need like a couple of high scoring games. Like we saw,
Yeah,
think about the Hawks Bulls game where that joint went up to 150 points. Like we got a game. We're going to be seeing games like
I
this.
mean, but both teams are collectively buns on defense. That's why.
Well, yeah, but as the season goes on, people get more
Wait, where's
tired.
SGA in that? Say that again. He was number 2, correct?
He's second,
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
32.
I just want to make sure. I thought I was tripping for a second because I thought I didn't hear him, and I was like, that can't be right. But okay,
yeah. Maybe I'll bring it down. I'll bring it down to 6. We'll subtract. We'll
I,
go
I'll do
6.
I'll do 4
I
because
mean, there were 4 on Monday when I first checked because Donovan Mitchell was at 30. He's dropped to
oh my god,
29.7
I think
in the last 3 days.
Anthony Edwards is almost guaranteed to be on that list by the end of the season.
That's the thing. None of the guys, like all the guys that are at 29, like they can very easily average
where's
30.
Jalen Brunson at?
He's seventh, 29.4.
Jalen Brunson is at.
Dang, he's
Ooh.
7. That's what I'm saying. Is 8 really a crazy
yeah.
number?
Hold on.
Like
8 might not be crazy, but that's wild.
all it needs is one crazy night, and that goes up to 30 or 31. Like,
okay, I'll give or take. I'll give 5. I'll say 5 by the end of the season. 5.
I'm gonna stick with 6. I'm gonna say 2 of them are gonna fall short. It's crazy. I'm saying this. Is Victor anywhere on this list? No, he's averaging like 27. I want to say.
I don't think he's gonna pop up because I don't know if he's like
I think he has
qualified.
averaging 24. I don't think he's.
Oh, he doesn't Oh, we're going
I
off
don't
of
think
like
he's
games
qualified.
played.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
just the
he's averaging
leaderboards.
23. Yeah, he's
The
averaging 24
leaderboards.
points. So he would have to
Yeah.
need some huge nights, which very well he
Yeah.
could. But I think his team doesn't need him to do that anymore.
Not at all.
God.
Yeah. So just some other notable league
They're so
leaders. If I can find it. Jokic is doing his thing, averaging a triple double, but he is hurt, so we'll see how if he qualifies at the end of the year. He's leading in rebounds and assists, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. Alex Sarr leading in blocks per game, 2.3. Steals per game, Case and Wallace at 2.2, the only player with 2 steals a game. Field goal percentage, Rudy Gobert.
Rudy can go.
71%.
Yeah, right. Let me stop.
3-pointers made, Donovan Mitchell at 125. That's total, though. So, through the rest of just leaderboards that you guys looked through and saw, were there any notable players and stats that jumped out to you as either surprising or disappointing? Emmanuel?
Not particularly, but I did want to say that I want to say Chet Holmgren is darn near averaging a block. I mean, well, it's not surprising, but like he has. Let me see if I can find that stat again. He's averaging almost 2 blocks per game, 1.9, which is pretty impressive because I think Victor is averaging close to the same thing actually. Never mind. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's over his first few seasons. Regular season, he's averaging about 3 blocks per game. So both of these guys are pretty elite when it comes to blocking shots. Obviously, Victor has the edge, but I was pretty surprised that Chet was averaging darn near 2 blocks per game. I know he's a 7'4", but he's not specifically close to the paint most of the times. It's usually Isaiah Hartenstein that's the center there, but it's still pretty darn impressive. I just wish him to be more aggressive when it comes to blocks. Sometimes he's a little too soft. But yeah, that was pretty impressive. But otherwise, besides the stat leaderboards, I do have some players that are surprising and disappointing this season. But I guess we can talk about that later.
No surprise when it comes to stats this year for me. It's the I wouldn't say it's exactly how I thought it would because obviously the biggest one is like 30 the 30 and over type players. Oh, and what I mean is like 30 points. Like
Oh
that is really impressive to me.
yeah,
I didn't even notice it, but now as you said, I was like, holy, because what my idea was like, oh, I know Jalen Brunson's near 30. Well, I don't know anybody. And I'm like, oh, like he's seventh. That's like years before. If he's averaging what, 27, right?
29.4.
Okay, yeah. 20, if you're averaging 29.4 like
You're probably the
5 years
scoring
ago,
leader. Yeah,
yes,
you're
you're
probably.
the scoring leader, unless you're James Harden. But that's a
Is
different
that
story.
James Harden?
But like, yeah, dude, like holy cow. That other than that, it's the usual. Actually, SAR did catch me off guard,
uh,
but it was whatever.
there's one person that I know I will get crucified if I don't say his name due to a certain person, Cole. Con Canoopel.
Oh,
I have to give him his props because Cole will probably stab me in my back if I don't.
yeah.
Um, he's averaging darn near 20 points per game, over 40% from three, and his true shooting is around 73%. He's a rookie,
He's a
At
rookie.
what
Yeah,
point?
I mean
and I understand he's on the Charlotte Hornets, so take this with a little bit of grain of salt. But like
yeah.
Doesn't matter what
shooting,
team you're on if you're
I was
shooting
gonna
like
say
that.
shooting numbers. I think shooting numbers are one of the stats that if you're doing really good on a bad team, it's more impressive because you know
What?
teams are going to be able to focus better shooters a lot easier when your team is overall bad and you don't have a star player to take that weight off of you. I
LaMelo?
think yeah, well, LaMelo's still a good shooter, but that's what I'm saying. He's a
No, no,
star.
no,
He's
no,
a
no. LaMelo is a great passer. So I'm not trying to discredit Knuble at all because he's really
oh
as good as we're
no,
saying.
okay. I see what you're saying here, but
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. My bad. I completely forgot about LaMelo Ball in that team, mostly because
yeah.
he's injured most of the time, and
It's
it
interesting. LaMelo is taking 9 threes a game.
oh my,
Khan's averaging 8.5, and Khan's shooting 43, while LaMelo's shooting 36.7%.
Khan's just a better shooter. That's
So yeah,
just
yeah.
I
I
mean,
think that's it.
I'm looking at like 3-point attempts, and of guys that shoot more than 8 a game, like Khan's one of two guys shooting 40%. The other guy's Michael Porter Jr. shooting 41% on
that's actually kind of
9.2
funny.
threes a game.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. is actually that's
He's
another
having a
player
wonderful
I
year.
completely forgot about, but he's actually having a really good season, and he's
Oh yeah,
shooting
Yeah.
very well,
it's
and it's
averaging
on the net.
25.8. Yeah.
Tag on.
There were
Uh,
three other guys in the scoring department that I wanted to highlight just for where they are. Sitting at 11th, we talked about his team being really bad, but Kawhi Leonard is averaging 28.5 points per game. Bet you
do
didn't
we
realize that.
do we think
The last
he's
time
gonna
he
hit 30?
scored that much, never. So he's currently averaging the most points a game in his
Never?
career.
You said it was never?
In 2019-20, his first year with the Clippers, he averaged 27. And since
Oh,
then, it's been 25, 24, 24, 21 last year. Now he's at 28.5.
mm.
Wow.
So at least there's that, Clippers fans. At least Kawhi's doing good. Laurie Markkinen is 12th, 28 a game.
Hey, isn't it
Shout
funny?
out
You
to
guys could have
him.
had him.
Emil, shut up.
Okay. And then Austin Reeves, more people are aware, but he has jumped from scoring 20 points a game last year to 26.6 this year on a team that has the scoring champion right now in Luka averaging 33.5.
Mm.
So those were three guys I wanted to highlight that caught my eye, at least in points per game. Any other people we want to highlight?
Yeah. So these aren't stat players or these aren't leaderboards. These are just players in general that I have as surprising or disappointing I have Denny Avdia, who's averaging 25.5 points per game. I have Lou Dort as being disappointing. He's averaging 8 points per game, shooting 36% from the field, 32% from the 3 point line, which is one of its worst 3 point shootings probably ever with the Thunder. Uh, Dylan Brooks, like I said, Luka Doncic, great season, horribly defensive, costing his team crucial points because he argues with the rest most of the times and lacks the hustle. And of course, my GOAT, Mr. Triple Double himself, Russell Westbrook, because he wasn't going to be on a team this season.
It's true.
Teams refused to sign him. And look where he is. He's probably the best player on. I think he is the best player on there. Zach LaVine has that fan altercation. Y'all heard about that with Zach LaVine? No. Okay, so a fan during the Kings game called out Zach LaVine for his lack of defense. And Russ is one of the people that usually defends his teammates or talks back to fans. Russ stayed silent about this because Zach LaVine refuses to play good defense. And that's why I'm saying Russ is probably one of the best players on that team currently. Probably second is like DeMontis Sabonis, of course. But like other than that, he's probably the second best because he's willing to do whatever the team needs. Unlike Zach LaVine over there, who just wants to do highlights. Oh, and sorry, well, Eastern Conference. Those are just Western. Where did I put him? Norman Powell was one of the guys who said last season that I knew he was going to be good. Yes, Norman Powell is averaging near 25 points per game this season. Another player for the Sixers is VJ Edgecombe. He's had his rookies ups and downs, I know, but overall he has been a significant boon for the Sixers, bringing explosive athleticism and an overall good defense to this team, and it's a breath of fresh air. I know he's working on his 3 point shot, and I believe he'll do it because we just saw him hit I want to say, game-winning shot a couple nights ago. You know, so I have high hopes for him. But those are some of the players that stood out for me.
For me, I have divided East and West as same as Emmanuel. For me, West starting in the West, it was Dylan Brooks, averaging 21, 3 on 45%, 32% from three, and 81 from free throw. Underrated. I think a lot of people are like, oh, he was going to be bad. No, even I thought he was going to be bad. Very good. Harrison Barnes. Now, this is a surprise to me because when I looked up Harrison Barnes' stats, I realized he stays consistent. His numbers barely move.
Yeah.
He is 12 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 45 from the field, 39 from three, so near 40, and 88 from the free throw line. Stays consistent. Has been that way for almost 3 years straight with the Spurs, which is really impressive. Now, overrated, Jared Jackson Jr.
Yes.
By a mile. 18 points, dropped off from 22, I believe. 5 rebounds and 2 assists on a, what is it, ninth seed Grizzlies, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Grizzlies 9th. Yes, correct.
Yeah, you're not doing enough, buddy. I'm sorry. I could have put Ja there, but Ja had a good last game, and debatably, is he playing the way he is because he wants to leave? Blah, blah, blah. Too many antics in that. I'll figure that out later. Now, my another overrated person who I'm very glad is here. Ace Bailey. For a top pick, that supposed top pick, 10 points, I believe that's 3 rebounds and 1 assist with 1 turnover. Actually, 2 turnovers. My bad. You're getting more turnovers than assists, buddy. And shooting 66% from the free throw line.
Gee.
Yeah, buddy. Wrap it up.
Hack a Bailey.
This is the shades of Kevin Durant have fallen. Anyways, into the
East. Got shades of Zachary Rich, you say.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, bro. In the East, overrated. Paulo Banchero. This hurts my soul. Yeah. This hurts my soul. Ooh. But he is on 20 points per game when he was at 25. 44 from the field. 23% on threes.
Yeah. You know what they started calling him now?
No.
PB No J.
Oh,
He shot 32
That's
last year.
huh?
He shot 32% last year.
Yeah,
How do you?
yeah. 45 from the field. I think that's about the same from last year. 4 assists and 3 turnovers. So you only plus the turnover to assist ratio is 1. Not good, buddy. All right. Also, I think there was I forgot the statistic, but I forgot what it's exact called, but it's points per jumper. He is the worst.
Hmm.
I I think it was 0.89. He was quite terrible. Underrated. And I know this is probably like, how's it underrated? Trust me. Maxi. Maxi is severely underrated because of what he is actually doing of being tired back to back games and still averaging 30.
And not to mention playing good defense as well.
Right? Exactly. So severely underrated when we look at the grand scheme of basketball, aside just from his scoring.
And I'm sorry to stop you, but I got a question for y'all.
Mhm.
Is Paulo Banchero still the face of the franchise for the Magic, or is it Franz Wagner?
Ah,
Still,
that's the.
Paulo.
I don't
That's
know.
your number one overall
I
pick. He's
don't
by
know.
default.
I mean,
I don't
Zachary
know.
Ricochet for the Hawks was supposed to be it was the number one overall pick and was supposed to be the
Yeah,
up
but
and
look at
coming
that
star.
draft class. That
Yeah, that draft class wasn't too great, but like you know,
I don't know, dude. Franz
Paulo.
is a baller, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say is it we look just because you're not that number one overall pick doesn't get you the privilege of staying the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
You gotta prove it and earn it. He's had some good seasons. Maybe this is just a down season. Who knows? But shooting what 23% from
20
three.
for 3 is terrible, dude.
That's Lou Dort's not even hitting that, and Lou Dort is not shooting well at all right now. I
Yeah.
love Lou Dort, but like, whew, I think Andre Drummond might be shooting better from three.
Oh,
That's and
God.
that's
Oh,
something. That's
God.
something.
yeah.
Let's not forget that they might not be taking the same amount of 3-point shots or attempts, but let's not forget it is Andre Drummond.
Underrated player. Ryan Hollins off of the Bucks, point guard.
Hmm.
He is
Mm.
averaging, let me see, 17, 6, and 4, shooting 47% and 40 from 3 on 70%, 76% free throws. In comparison to last year, 6.2 points. So from 17 to 6.2. Okay. Let me see. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Now I feel like he's going to win Most Improved, and I think he's going to keep that consistent. Even though the Bucks suck, I still am widely impressed that he's having this good of a year. Still,
Yeah. Good one.
and overrated Miles Turner.
Who?
Oh yeah.
Forgot about him.
I do not want to hear anything about, well, Miles Turner didn't want to accept the trade. Miles Turner was there for years. You're right. And with the second he left, he ain't do nothing. 13, 6, and 2 as your main big man.
Nah,
Mm.
it's not good.
We can't, that's not acceptable
Yeah.
as your main big man. Even next to Giannis, Brooke Lopez still averaged 10 rebounds. And you can't do that?
Mm.
Get out. So yeah, those were my overrated, underrated players, and yeah.
One
Okay.
cool stat I saw about Maxi. He's averaged 9.2 3-point attempts last 2 years. Um, last year he shot 33.7%.
This
This
year
year
he's shooting 40.
he's shooting just under
Yeah,
40%. And of guys in the league that shoot over 9 attempts a game, he has the highest percentage, not named Michael Porter Jr., who is apparently the best 3-point shooter in the
yeah.
league right now.
Now
But I mean, for a guy that takes that many shots, like that's one of the reasons he's averaging 30 right now because he's hitting them.
I just want to say this. Now I hope this isn't true for Jokic because he's an extremely talented player. But if Jokic is out and he's no longer qualified for this MVP race, Tyrese Maxey should and probably will be the number two spot in that MVP
Absolutely.
race over
Well,
Luka Doncic.
well,
It's going to be Shea first, probably.
yeah.
Luka's going to drop to maybe three, and then I say
Cade should be up there.
Cade could be as
Cade
Cade
well.
should
needs
get
to
some
be up
love,
there.
yes.
Yes, so maybe it'll go Tyrese Cade. So Shea,
I
Tyrese,
don't.
and
I
Cade.
think
I
it
think
goes.
Cade. I think
Cade is
Cade.
better.
I was going to say maybe Shea, Cade, Tyrese, but I think all
Absolutely.
three of those are. I think 2 and 3 are extremely close. I think obviously I'm a little biased here, but like
I think one is solid though.
I think one is just he's
Yeah.
not like far and above. He's not like oh they're below and therefore no, he's not the king, but like there
Eh,
I think there's still a distance between 2 and 3 compared to one. I think there's still a bit of distance there.
Let me ask you this: if Jokic is out of the picture for the race and it's SGA and Maxi, is the only reason you have SGA over Maxi points per game? Like if Maxi surpasses or averages almost identical, because SGA is at 32.1, Maxi's at basically 31. So a whole point difference. But if it gets to like decimal places for points per game or Max even passes, is he MVP? Or is there other factors for SGA?
For me, at least, there's other factors for SGA.
yeah.
I don't. I could really care less about the points per game for either team. Honestly, it's just for me. I think SGA is probably still the better. I think he's easily the better defender here between the two,
Absolutely.
and I think
Mhm.
that I'm really in love with defense. Really in love with defense, and that's what really makes me vote for SGA and players like Tyrese Maxey because of their defensive capabilities. Not only that, but also SGA doesn't play in the fourth quarters hardly ever, and he's still averaging this amount of points. And I think if he did play in the fourth quarter, his numbers would probably be around 35 points per game.
Uh, just to make sure, like, it's not that Maxey doesn't play defense because he still averages
Oh
two
no
steals.
no no yeah
No, no,
yeah
He's
no, no.
yeah.
I'm
averaging
not.
he's
I didn't want to.
averaging
Averaging
more
two.
steals and blocks than SGA
Yeah,
right now.
he's
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
so it's not like he isn't, but in my personal opinion, I have to agree.
Yeah,
Like it.
I didn't want to sound like I was slandering Tyrese
Oh
Maxey.
no,
Like I
you
said,
weren't. You weren't. You
I was
weren't.
just want to say he's very good on defense, and his blocks like for a guard, I didn't think he can jump that high. But dear
Yeah,
lord, can he get
yeah.
up there
He.
for a block?
Yeah. So I mean, looking at it, and he's got a 1.6 plus minus on 40 minutes. So like, Maxie's not. It's not that. How do I explain? It's not that it's the eye candy. Like you can't let eye candy get in the MVP race, unfortunately. Maxie's game looks more appealing
Oh,
by a mile.
sorry to break you guys up, but Chad Holmgren just won Defensive Player of the Month.
Anyways,
I just had to throw that out there.
what's yeah, Maxi, his game is more appealing, but when we look at efficiency, we look at you know, I don't know, because I don't want to say both of them are carrying their teams. That feels wrong. So I don't want to say Maxi's carrying well.
I
mm,
think they are. I think they both are carrying their teams. I know
mm,
everybody wants to say the Thunder or super team or everything else, but when you really watch the games like consistently, you will see how much of an offensive load is on SGA. Like if SGA doesn't put them up by a lot by third quarter, you're going to see him in that game, and he's going to be their main source of scoring. You may see one or two nights where Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren's coming in to really help him out, but you're not going to see that consistently. And when it comes to a clutch moment, you have nobody else to rely on. You have to give it to SGA. We saw it against the Timberwolves this year and last year. When it came down to the clutch, who had the ball in his hand because nobody else could shoot that night, it was SGA. What happened? He ended up not making the shot. He got turned over. In fact, I think that's exactly what happened. I think he got the ball stolen from him
mhm.
in both of those games by Anthony Edwards because
Yep.
they were getting swarmed. Because he was getting swarmed because they could swarm him because nobody else could hit a freaking shot that night. It's the same thing almost every night. SGA is the sole carrier of this offense on here, night in and night out. He shouldn't be having to average 30 points per game, but he has to for this team. And if he had to play in the fourth quarter, he would probably I feel like he would be averaging more. Because
Just to
I think.
point out. Oh
Oh, sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no, keep on going with your take.
I was just going to say, just the fourth quarter alone, I think he's played in less than half of the game, half of the fourth quarters available in the entire game so far, less than half, and he's averaging 30 points per game on high efficiency.
Just to point out, because I didn't put this in my notes, but I do want to state this. Tyler Hero is the number one option and has almost the same statistics.
For who?
Tyler
Two.
Hero?
Shout out Tyler Hero.
Yeah. When
What's
you're
that
the number
song?
one option,
Jack Harlow.
okay, stop. I mean, when you're the number one option, your numbers should jump. And I'm
Yeah,
not talking about, efficiency and no. That points per game should be a lot higher. It hasn't made a jump like that.
I'm sorry, for
So
who? We're talking about for Tyler or just
Taylor.
okay, okay.
Now, granted, I think he's only played 8 games.
Maybe
Well,
that could be a very good reason
that
why that's so
explains it.
high.
But like that, like I mean, yeah. But like at the same time, what I'm trying to say, even in those 8 games, 9 games, I can't remember how many he's actually played.
6 games.
What? Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways,
You know,
we
he's not
gotta.
even the number one option. It's Norman Powell's team. All right, let's back
oh,
off.
apparently
This
that's
is
what I would. That was my point.
Shout out my
Like,
man Norman.
24 points a game on 40.5 shooting from three. Like, come on,
I ran
step
this
yeah,
back
aside
Norman,
there.
up.
Norman,
Whenever.
Powell's here.
Norman
Powell's
Powell.
here.
First of all, Norman Powell should be congratulated on
I,
how
I told you he was like
consistent
this.
he is on when the number one player goes down. That's serious. Like if you look, I wish there was some type of statistic to show like every single time the number one player has gone down, how good Norman Powell gets. It's wild. I
Oh yeah.
like Clipper. He did that with the Clippers and wait, what teams have you been on?
Clippers.
You want the
Clippers.
Raptors?
Yeah, he was
Yes,
on the
Raptors.
Raptors
I
as
do
well with
remember
Kawhi.
that. Yeah.
I don't know why I almost want to say Pacers, but I was thinking of what's his name? I was thinking of T.J. Warren instead by
Uh,
accident.
yeah, Bubble T.J. Warren, aka Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but
All right,
Ryan. Well, Ryan, I wanted to throw this question
go
back
ahead.
at you
Yeah.
because you didn't. Uh, if if it was between SGA and Tyrese, who are you taking for the MVP? Who would
See, the
your
thing
vote?
with
Who
the
would your vote go
the
towards?
thing with Maxi is his situation. Like he was in this same situation last year with Embiid and Paul George not really playing.
Mm-hmm.
McCain out of the picture basically this year as well for different
Mm-hmm.
reasons. And I mean, he averaged what 26.3. And the Sixers couldn't even make the playoffs. You know, they just
Mm-hmm.
stunk. And he ended up getting hurt and stuff, and it just got worse. You know, now same situation, he's averaging 30, and they're in the playoffs. Like not just playing, they're in the playoffs. They're playing really well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're not necessarily going to win the championship, but they are a very good team and much better than last year. And it's his team. And I do think how he's been able to elevate the Sixers team is worthy. I think he is valuable to that team way
Mm-hmm.
more than anyone else. But at the same time, the Thunder have looked very beatable this year. And so, bias, I would probably go Maxey, like just because I want to give him love, and I don't think everyone understands like how good he is this year.
Absolutely.
I think if he ended up averaging more than SGA, I would definitely give it to him. If it was close, I would have to dive into more tiebreaker stats.
I was
But
gonna say
yeah,
I don't lose either way. I'm a fan of both these guys, of both of these teams.
I'm
So
happy
yeah,
either
yeah, yeah.
way. Like I do like SGA. I don't like the Thunder, but I do like SGA. No, that's not true. I do like the Thunder. I'm not happy about them winning a championship. That's all. But like I do like the Thunder in total. But yeah, it would be a win-win. Win-win. I'll take it. You know.
All right, last question. I just want to look at the Rookie of the Year race right now. It's a three-horse race. Got Con Canoopel leading the way at 19.3 points per game, leads all rookies. Cooper Flag right behind him at 19.2, and VJ Edgecombe 16.1, but he feels like he's averaging way more the way he's playing, and I think he definitely should be involved with those two. Top three Rookie of the Year right now. Who's your pick, Dwayne?
This is gosh. I don't know. This is difficult for me because I'm like I like all three. Biased, I'm gonna go with VJ, but unbiased, I gotta go Khan. He's he's
mm,
that guy. I'm sorry. Like it's not as good as many people think he might be in his future career, but I definitely think like this is just like a defining like, hey, excuse me, I got something to prove. Like he's definitely showing us like, hey, I might not be the first, but well, what, hold on. What pick was he?
Con
Top 10,
Canoopel.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't he
Yeah, I
top
think it
10?
was a lottery. So, yeah, a lottery
Late,
pick.
late lottery.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh wait. He
ball.
was wasn't he drafted after the Sixers? So the Sixers had the
Wasn't he
third,
fourth?
fourth?
I think he was fourth.
Yeah, so fourth. So early lottery. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
remember
it's kind of
Cole
tough.
texting. I think Cole texted literally right after.
See, that's cool though. You got three, like, not always like the rookie of the year race is between like the top picks. Sometimes it's like one or two guys that were in the top five, and then another guy who came out. Like this is three of the top four picks in the draft that are duking it out for rookie day right now, which is really cool to see. And I
Yeah,
Yeah.
think
I wasn't gone. I'm just happy.
Even Dylan Harper's having a great
Oh
season
yeah,
and could be
he
in there. So
should
there's your top
definitely.
four picks.
There's
All
also another player that nobody's mentioned, but Cedric Coward off of the Grizzlies has also
Oh
had talks as well.
yeah.
And if I had to choose my pick, I'm still going to go Cooper Flag because of, yeah, and I might sound like a broken record here, but the defensive side is the
Mm.
part that pushes him ahead there. Concanupo is an offensive juggernaut, but it's the defense that like defense is a part of the game nobody really respects anymore nowadays. Unfortunately, like people don't love it. There's like it's just there, but I think it's really one of the most beautiful part of the game, and that's why I always will favor it over offense almost anytime.
You know who ain't there?
Who?
Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
yeah, we know that.
I love it.
See, when I look at this, like VJ Edgecombe is probably gonna be the only one that's playing in the playoffs.
That's
And
what I
yeah,
was.
he has an
That's a good
MVP
point.
candidate leading his team, but like we talk about the Sixers' big three, right, with Embiid and George. It's been a Sixers big two with Maxey and Edgecombe is the reason why they're where they are right now. Like when you can say that he is this whole season has been the number two option on the Sixers and has been, the Robin to Maxey's Batman this season, that's something. And Flag, it's his team, the Mavericks. You've got AD, but he's been that guy. And the Hornets, I guess Khan has been number two to LaMelo. And yet VJ is going to be the guy that's playing meaningful games in the summer.
I was
So I
also
think
gonna
that means
say.
something.
I think VJ is gonna overtake some of these guys as the season goes on. He doesn't have the opportunity like the other guys when it comes to the team positions and what they need from their rookies.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe VJ Edgecombe could very well put up way better stat. Well, I'm not going to do the ifs or if he was on that team or if he was there, but I think VJ Edgecombe is going to continue to progress positively as we go into the season. As we go deeper into the season, I think we're only going to see his stats go upwards as he gets more comfortable, as he realizes his role within the Sixers organization. You know, we already see him get hit clutch shots, and I think now we're just going to keep relying on him more and more because really, he's he's going to be a better version. He's going to be a replacement for Paul George. He's
Mm-hmm.
like we already saw Paul George couldn't hit those shots during that game winner. Guess who did hit that shot? The rookie, VJ
Yes, sir.
Edgecombe, because he generates points because he's the heart and engine of this team. Besides Max, of course.
Yep. All right, that just about does it for this episode. So we'll be back. NFL playoffs are starting, and we'll be doing our preview and predictions through each round and see how that goes. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.